Had to cut it off there. I wasn't paying attention to the time, and I only got 15 minutes per video in order to post it on YouTube. So anyway, there's the first 15 minutes, and here we go for the second 15. Yes, projects. There are 2 assignments that will count as projects. The first one is in week 2. It's called the triangle assignment. You'll see it as you work through the content of week 2. It's just a whole bunch of questions. Pretty straightforward, pretty tedious, but however very valuable. I would like you to finish it by Thursday of week 2, because on Friday Live we're going to do an activity related to that. The due date isn't actually for a few more days, but if you could get it done by Thursday, that would be great. So that's during week 2. The second project is in week 10. It's called parametric doodling. It's that one's gangs of fun, as you'll see. I say that somewhat sarcastically, but I actually think it is really fun. Parametric equations are just so valuable, and I have a great time playing with them and working with them and describing the world with them. Anyway, each of the projects is worth 5% of your grade, so 10% total. There's 2 exams, one I'll call the midterm exam, one I'll call the final exam. The midterm exam happens in the middle of the quarter, and the final exam happens at the end of the quarter. Each one is 25% of your grade. And these are proctored. The math department actually requires that at least 50% of your grade in an online class is a proctored exam of some kind. I will arrange for a room on campus in the evening on the 2 nights that we're going to do those things. So I'll give you 2 hours. I figure it's a 2-hour exam. I'm not going to cut anyone off at 2 hours. If it takes you 3, it takes you 3. If it takes 4, I might be saying, "Are you done yet?" But generally it doesn't take people much more than 2. So, in fact, a lot of people finish before 2. So there'll be those 2. Make sure you bring a photo ID with you. You may also bring a sheet of notes, 8.5 inches by 11 inches or smaller, with stuff on both sides if you want. My hope is that everyone can be there to take them on campus. I know that sometimes there's just scheduling conflicts, and we'll work around that, find ways to use the testing center or whatnot if we have to. But the more people we can get there at the same time, the easier it is. So the midterm and the final. I'm going to scroll down real quick to, there's a calendar at the bottom of the syllabus just to give you an idea when we are talking. So you can see each week here, there's a quiz at the end of every week. It's listed on Friday, but it's really not due until Sunday, and it'll show up on Wednesday. But anyway, that's just the end of the week quiz. If I were teaching this as a face-to-face class, this would be the pacing that I do, how many days for each section. So you get an idea for yourself as to how fast you should be working through the material. The quiz each week covers the stuff that's listed in that week. Even the stuff that might be listed on Friday is covered on the quiz that week. So anyway, you get down to week, I believe this is week 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, during week 6 is the midterm exam, test 1. We will take it on a Wednesday evening on October the 28th. Notice there's a couple of things here. These actually don't show up until week 7, but if I were teaching face-to-face, we'd take the test this day, and people would start in on this. Would start on the next material right then. So you probably should do that as well. But the material looks like it's in week 7. So anyway, that's the midterm, and then down at the end of the course, why isn't this letting me go down to the end? There we go. I don't know where my head just moved to. Anyway, the final exam is December 9th. Okay. During the first couple days of the final exam week and the first couple days of the midterm week, let's use the discussion forum heavily to talk about the stuff that we've done, answer questions. There'll be a brief review posted, just mainly topics. I don't say much, but I'll say a lot if you ask. If you ask questions, I certainly will say a lot. But otherwise, I don't know what to say if people don't ask questions. I assume you know stuff. That's why you're taking the class. So Anyway, there's the midterms. Those are 25% each. Let me scroll back up to where we were. Blah, 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 blah. Yes. Final exam. Again, you can use a sheet of notes on the final exam as well. This is the grade scale, essentially. It's essentially a 90, 80, 70, ABC kind of thing. If you have any disability accommodations that you need, please let me know. Particularly if you're hearing impaired and you need these videos closed captioned, I'll get to it. It's on my list of things to do, but if I know I got a student that needs it, I will get to it a whole lot faster. Student conduct, participation. Mathematics is not a spectator sport. I expect you to participate in this class. Read the book. Work on the activities on WAMAP. Watch the videos. Ask your questions on the discussion group. Help people out. I mean, it's what's going to make it work for you. You can watch me do it all day. I can make it look simple. Until you do it, it won't be simple for you. So participate. Academic honesty. Don't cheat. There are repercussions for cheating. I've dealt with it before. I will deal with it if I have to. Just don't make me have to. Do your own work. It's the way you're going to learn the best, and that's why we're here. We're here to learn. There is some support available. The Learning Center in Cascade Hall has tutors. The Math Center is open, goodness, most of the days, all day long. Maybe not on the weekend, but during the week, there's a lot of access there. There's also e-learning, e-tutoring. There's a site that Whatcom has access to because we're in the Northwest e-tutoring consortium. I've actually never had students tell me whether this is good or bad, but it's available. If the Math Center is closed and you want to try something else and you can't get a hold of me or whatnot. Anyway. The Online Math Center that Doug Moores, who's no longer teaching here, but did for many, many years, he created this. And there's lots of information and frequently asked questions and all sorts of stuff there. I have a bunch of files as well that I use from time to time. This is the link to them. I have a piece of software called Live Math that you'll see. I do some animations and things, and anyway, you can interact with them as well as I do, and they're listed at that link. Yeah, communication guidelines. You should be courteous and professional. I certainly will try to be, and I say try to be. I will be. Some of your best learning aids are your fellow students, so treat them with respect. You're encouraged to help each other with the homework and through the discussion boards, right? However, the quizzes should be done individually. Those weekly quizzes, did I even talk about it? We had a quiz at the end of each week. I don't remember talking about it. It would have been the last video. Yeah, I did. Okay. Where am I? There we go. Sorry. Distracted. Do the quizzes by yourself. They're not to be meant to get help with. Don't ask quiz questions on the discussion boards. Right? Just do the quizzes by yourself. Get help with homework, but not the quizzes. To contact me, use the messaging system within WAMAP, or the discussion boards within WAMAP, or my email, or my telephone. Any one of those. I respond to all of them. I generally try to respond within a day. On the weekends, it may take a little longer. I don't necessarily pay attention on the weekends. So, classroom meetings, there are 2 scheduled meetings. Dang, I don't have these right. We just said what they were. They are, let's change it to October 28th and December 9. Here we go. October 28th. And December 9. Good. now it's right. Actually, I'm even going to save that. Shown in the calendar below. Both will be from 7 to 9 p.m. The room numbers will be announced when I get them, and it should be very shortly that I get them, so the announcement you'll know way ahead of time where and when. Technology requirements, of course, you need internet access to do an online class. If you can get Live Math Viewer, here's the link to it, that'll help you use some of the files that I mentioned that I use. It's not absolutely necessary, but if you want to interact with them, you need Live Math Viewer to do it. There are times when I'm going to ask you on, for instance, each quiz, I'm going to ask you to turn in your work on any problem you get wrong. So at the end of each quiz, if you've made any mistakes and you've used up your 3 attempts and you're still getting the answer wrong, then I want you to take a picture, scan, somehow send me an electronic copy of the work that you did so I can use it to assign partial credit. So you'll need some sort of camera or scanner to do that. Although you can always just bring it to my office too. Yes, inclement weather procedure. You know, if we get too much snow on one day and they call the college off, that really is irrelevant to an online class. I assume we will keep going at the normal pace. That being said, if you live in a place where you don't have internet access and you've got to go to a place, please use your discretion as to whether it's safe to do so. But unless something really drastic comes up and you know, we lose power for an extended period of time, I don't see why you know, why we wouldn't just continue on. Okay. So yeah, and then we're down to the calendar. This gives you a pretty good idea as to the pace that we should go at when different things happen. There's the triangle assignment in week 2. There's the project due at the end of week 10. Oh, week 10, by the way, is a long one. I probably need to slide this down again. Sorry, what's going on? This quarter actually covers 12 weeks, but with Thanksgiving here being a major portion of the 10th week, I actually figure that this week, starting on November 23rd and ending on December 4th, is all the 10th week. Okay, 2 days in this week and then 5 days in that week. That's the last week before the finals, which are in week 11. So anyway, as you look at the course, you'll see there's only 11 weeks listed, even though this course is technically 12 weeks long. That's because week 10 is a long one, with Thanksgiving thrown in. So anyway, if you have any questions, by all means, ask them. Send me an email, post a question on discussion. This is going to be a great class. I love this. I love the content of this class. I use it all the time, and I think it's good for challenging you. You might never have seen anything like it before. So be ready. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Let's leave it at that.